A very good morning to you, dear students, and welcome to this class. Standard 7, Subject English Language. We're starting with the second term syllabus, the sixth chapter, verbs. Dear students, we all know what are really verbs. Verbs, we usually say that the words which show actions, right? What kind of verbs like? Can we take some few examples? We do so many activities in the day and throughout the day. Like we wake up in the morning, we brush our teeth, we have bath, and so many other activities we carry on: walking, studying, eating, riding bike, driving, reading, writing, and so many other activities. Whatever we do, whatever we think, whatever we have in the sense the words which are have, has, had, am, are, is, all these kinds of words are verbs. Dear students, here you can see the children playing football, right? Look at the sentence there. We enjoy playing football. The word enjoy shows that they are actions, like they are enjoying with their smiles and they're playing football. The next picture, you can see that there are so many balls there: football, basketball, volleyball, tennis ball, and even the hockey. I have all these sports balls with me at my home. What is the difference between the verb enjoy there in the first sentence and also here the word have, which is underlined? Enjoy shows the action there, but whereas this word shows the possession, like I have this ball. The word have shows the possession of something. Such verbs are called as possession verbs. The next part is Mrs. Linda's children are naughty. What is this are verb? It's a verb which shows the being. Being means what they are. Mrs. Linda's children are naughty. I am a good boy. The word am shows the being of myself. So there are also other kinds of verbs like thinking verb, saying verb, which we have studied in the previous classes. But presently only concentrate on these three main. First one which shows the action, second one shows the position that you have, and the third one the being verb, what we are. Let us go quickly to the kinds of verbs. There are altogether three kinds of verbs: transitive, intransitive, and verbs of incomplete predication, which is also called in a shortest way the complement. The first one, transitive verbs. A verb that requires an object to complete its meaning is called transitive verbs. Keep in mind, always go with the definition, then you will be able to understand with the help of examples. A verb which requires an object, it should have an object to complete its meaning, is called as transitive verbs. Examples: my mother washes. The word washes here is a verb that requires particular object. What she washes? She washes the clothes, right? So my mother washes clothes in the washing machine. In the washing machine is the part of predicate. Let us not concentrate on that, but washes what? Washes clothes. The particular object is given there, and hence such kinds of verbs like washes requires an object to complete the meaning of the sentence. Let us go to the second example. Karim caught. What did he catch? He caught the thief, right? So the thief becomes the particular object for the verb caught. Karim caught the thief and beat him up. Third one, Pushpa plucked flowers from the garden. Pushpa plucked Excuse me for the spelling there, just a small typing mistake. Pushpa plucked flowers from the garden. The word plucked becomes the verb giving an object flowers. The verb plucked is a verb having an object of flowers. What did Pushpa pluck? Pushpa plucked flowers. So all such kinds of verbs which have the object are known as transitive verbs. Let us go to the intransitive verbs now. Intransitive verbs, what? They do not require an object to complete. They can stand by its own. Look at the definition properly. A verb that does not require an object to complete its meaning is called an intransitive verb. Concentrate again. These kinds of verbs do not require any object to complete its meaning. They can stand by its own, like the baby slept. Example, you look there, the baby slept. Here, the baby is a subject, baby is a noun, baby is a subject, and just giving the verb slept. Do you think this sentence is complete? Yes, of course, but without any object. They do not require any object to complete its meaning. The baby slept means it is automatically understood that baby has slept somewhere, right? So, such kinds of verbs or the sentences do not require any object there. Karim laughed. Karim laughed. You can see somebody is standing there and they are laughing, and you point out at them and say, Karim laughed. Karim laughed in the sense, it is quite clear in meaning that he laughed. We do not require why he laughed, and that is the second part of the sentence, because he was enjoying with his friends and so many other things. But presently Karim laughed is enough. This is enough for us. There is not at all a requirement of an object. Karan dances. Yes, Karan dances, right? Karan dances on the floor. This on the floor becomes the predicate but not an object. Keep in mind. Karim laughed with his friends or laughed over his friends. All such kinds of words which follow are the predications, predicate, not the object. So these three sentences, and also there are so many sentences which we can make. You can go through the Google and find out them, which can stand by their own, having no object into them. The next part of it, the next kinds of verbs are verbs of incomplete predication, also called in a shortest way the complement. Dear students, this is quite clear in meaning, but children still do have confusion in their mind to understand such kinds of verbs. Read along with me the definition and try to understand what they are exactly. The verb to be in the sense, what to be, you see, is, are, am, was, were, will be, shall be, appear, seem, and look. All these are verbs of incomplete predication. Especially these verbs are used for the verbs of incomplete predication, which give the clear meaning. Look at the next part. They need other words or a phrase to complete their meaning. The word or phrase added is called the complement. As I had told you earlier, they are in a shortest way, it is called as a complement, right? Look at the example. I hope this definition is not clear to you. I will make it clear with the help of examples. See, the dog is, if I say the dog is it a complete sentence? No, not at all. The dog is. We should add a word or a phrase to give meaning to it. That is, the dog is an animal. To be the animal. The dog is an animal. Right? So, when we add a phrase or a small word, it becomes a complete meaning. The dog is. What the dog is? The dog is an animal. Then the sentence has a clear meaning. Look at the second word. The earth is round. The earth is. If we say, there is no meaning at all. But when we give the word or the phrase round, it adds meaning to the sentence. The next one, third one. Arun seems sad. Arun seems. If I call all of you and take you somewhere where there are lots of mess, and I say, standing at a distance, Arun seems. And I do really take a pause there. What do you people feel? Sir, tell me again what you are saying. Arun seems. What does he seem? Arun seems sad. When I say, it gives the clear meaning that sir is trying to tell that Arun is looking sad. So, such kinds of words which you give order of, add a phrase or a word to give the meaning is known as verbs of incomplete predication. Dear students, the kinds of verbs we have already seen. The main parts of verbs we can see, like now we are using the verbs in our day-to-day life. This part is more important than the parts we studied just before. Dear students, kindly keep in mind there are 3 sentences mainly, and there are even sub tenses like the present tense, present continuous, present perfect continuous, past tense, past continuous tense, past perfect continuous tense, future continuous, future perfect tense, future perfect continuous tense. But let us only concentrate during this verbs lesson only 3 main parts, that is the present tense, past tense and the future tense. It is very simple for you also to make the good sentences like I eat my breakfast every day. This is in a present tense. Every day I eat my breakfast. Go to the past tense. I ate my breakfast yesterday. Future tense. I will eat my breakfast tomorrow. The same verb, same words I have used in a different way, that today, yesterday and tomorrow. Present, past and future. So these main verbs, if you try to see the eat, ate, will eat, I have changed them in such a kind of sect. Go to the next table. How a verb is used. It is used in the present tense, past tense and past participle tense. Not tense, past participle. Present tense, past tense and past participle. I have already told you about this table, how well it is used in the active and passive voice and also during the direct and indirect speech. Here also you can make one more table if you really require, like drink, drinking, drank, drunk, cut, cutting, cut, cut, give, giving, gave, given. You can just have one more table if you need, or it is not that necessary, because every word drink is there that you have just add there ing, cut, cutting, ing, t and then ing, give, giving, you remove the e and then ing, dry, ing, drying, see, seeing, ing. So like that you can go on adding, so not at all required, but you should know these tables very perfect. So many of you make mistakes when you are making this table. Give, gave, gave, some people write. Some people write dry, dried, again dry. See, seen, saw. This is not at all good. There are so many textbooks you are having since the first standard till today, till you reach the 7th standard. So many verbs you went through. You just should not go through them, but also you should keep in mind the position of theirs, present tense what it comes, past tense what it comes, and past participle. I have always told you that past participle should be used when you are using the words like has, have and had. Go through this table very often so that you can be clear to understand the importance of this. I have told you the importance of this. If you want to speak a good English, this table is very much necessary. The students, after this, let us go to the exercise number 1, which says the give the past and past participle of the following verbs. First one, freeze, froze, frozen. Second one, lie, lay, laid. Rest, for, you do it. Exercise number 2, fill in the past tense or past participle of the verbs given in brackets. They dash, what they have given in bracket, choose they have given. So they chose Joshi as their leader. They have chosen the best speaker. I have used the word choose in two different ways: choose, chose and chosen. The rest two you people try to do. Exercise number 3. Before going to exercise number 3, I would like to bring to your mind about the auxiliary and helping verbs. You know, auxiliary verbs means they are also called as helping verbs, like they are is, am, are, was, were, have, has, had. All such kinds of verbs fall into the category of auxiliary verb. Please do not forget it. Exercise number 3, fill in the blanks with suitable auxiliary verbs. Auxiliary verbs means, I have already told you, they are the helping verbs. So first one, dash we met before. Have we met before? Can I say there was we met before? No. You should think. Auxiliary verbs means we have so many: am, is, are, was, were, have, will have, and so many other things are there. The suitable you have to put, the best suitable. Am we met before? Can I say? No. Have we met before is the right sentence, right? So give the answer as a have we met before. Have we met before? Second one, a new set of clothes dash given to the poor orphans last night. A new set of clothes was given. See, children, you often get confused again here. A new set of clothes. Sir, when the word clothes is in plural form, why have you used singular form of the verb was? We have to see the subject, not the set of clothes. See, a new set of clothes, it is a word, set word is used. A new set of clothes. I did not say I have new clothes were given. No, a new set of clothes. So set becomes one, isn't it? So you have to use the verb was there. A new set of clothes was given to the poor orphans last night. Third one, dash there any spoons left. Are there any spoons left? So like this you try to solve the rest of the answers of this exercise. Exercise number 4, read it along with me. Underline the verbs in the passage given below and then change them into the past tense. Underline the verbs in the passage given below and then change them into the past tense. The present, all the verbs are in present tense in your textbook of the exercise number 4. You have to change them in the past tense. Note, you have to make changes wherever it is necessary only. Wherever it is necessary only. For example, read at the textbook. They begin in a light-hearted sprint to show me how to do it. See, in the first sentence itself I can tell you, they began. The word begin becomes they began in a light-hearted sprint to showed. It does not come. Show is the word. Show is the verb. But you cannot change here. That's why I have given a note. You have to make changes wherever it is necessary only. I repeat, they began in a light-hearted spirit to show me how to do it. The word show also is a verb but does not require any changes. Kindly keep that thing in mind and try to solve the rest of the activity. try to solve it on your own. The last one, exercise number 5. Fill in the blanks in the verb forms of words given in the brackets. In the brackets, there are words given. You have to change their form and make them verbs. They are nouns, you should make them verbs. The police could not dash the arrest they made in the murder case. What word is given to us? The word just is given. To make it as a verb, what we have to do? Justify. Okay? The police could not justify the arrest they made in the murder case. He has dash in orthopedics. He has specialized in orthopedics. 2 I have solved, rest are for you. Try to solve them and I will give you the answer keys and then you can correct them. Exercise number 1, 2, 3 and 4 and 5. All these, the remaining activities you have to do, try and try to learn. If any confusions or problems, kindly call me. I hope the lesson verbs which I taught just now has been understood by you, especially the kinds of verbs, transitive, intransitive and verbs of incomplete predication, which is also called as a complement, and the 3 forms of verbs, that is present, past and past participle, and also the 3 tenses, main parts of the verbs, the present tense, past tense and the future tense. We also study them in the next part of our class, the tenses. Let us study them thoroughly, but presently 3 are enough, and also the 3 main parts are very important. Last year I had told you to write minimum 500 verbs, and so many children came out. They turned towards me and showed me more than 1000. They showed their interest, and I want still many more of you that you should also take interest in finding out the verbs. Every sentence has a verb. Every sentence has a verb. Every sentence which has the complete meaning has a verb. So whatever you speak in the day-to-day life, every sentence comes out of your mouth has a verb. Note down them. Go to the textbooks. There also every sentence should have and must have the verb. Take out them. Try to find out their 3 forms. If you don't get, text me if you need any help. I will really reply you back whenever I see your message and try to give you feedback. Study for the next part of this session, or maybe the second part of your academic year. Be thorough from the first day 1 so that you can prepare well for your annual examination. May God bless you all. Thank you and have a good day ahead.